Hello everyone. Today our topic for discussion is Aligarh movement. So dear students, as we know that the Aligarh movement was a socio-religious reform movement started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. As we know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was an Islamic reformer, philosopher, educationist, journalist, civil servant and social reformer in the 19th century British India. He was a champion of democratic ideals and freedom of speech. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was born on 17th October 1817 at Delhi. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was born at Delhi and he died on 27th of March 1898 at Aligarh. As we know that this Aligarh movement, it was a socio-religious reform movement. The main aim of the Aligarh movement was spreading Western and scientific education among the Muslims. He started Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan started Aligarh movement because he was deeply concerned at the depressing situation of the Muslims, and raising them from their backwardness became his lifelong passion and aim. He strove hard to remove the hostility of the British rulers towards the Muslims of India. As we know that revolt 1857, after revolt 1857, we see that British government blamed Muslims were responsible. They blamed Muslims were responsible for the rebellion, for the revolt of 1857. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted to improve the situation, and or we can say that he removed the hostilities between the Britishers and the Muslims. So he advocated English education for the regeneration of the Muslims of India. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, as we know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was against religious religious intolerance, irrationalism, and ignorance. He denounced Parda system, polygamy, and easy divorce. So, Aligarh movement was a systematic movement aimed at reforming the social, political, and educational aspects of the Muslim community. We see that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, as we know that he was in the judicial service of the company at the time of the revolt of 1857. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was an eyewitness of the revolt of 1857, and he wrote a famous pamphlet titled "The Causes of the Indian Revolt." Famous causes of the Indian Revolt. In Urdu, it is known as Asbab Bhagavati Hind, wrote by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He highlighted the causes of the revolt of 1857. As we know that this revolt of 1857 is known as the first war of Indian independence. After revolt, we see that Muslims, they were blamed, Britishers blamed Muslims were responsible for the revolt, and we see that the main aim of the Aligarh movement was to improve for the upliftment of the Muslims in India, upliftment of Muslim community. The main aim of this Aligarh movement was the upliftment of the Muslims. As we know that Muslims after revolt 1857, they were not in a, they were living in a miserable conditions. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he advocated English education for the regeneration of the Muslims of India. As we know that his progressive social ideas were propagated through his Urdu magazine, his famous Urdu magazine Tehzib-ul Akhlaq. As we know that Aligarh movement was the social religious reform movement. Main aim was separating Western and scientific education among the Muslims of India. So for that very purpose, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan first laid the foundation of Scientific Society. Earlier, this scientific society was known as Translation Society. Translation Society was founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan at Aligarh in 1864. The main aim of the foundation of the scientific society was to introduce Western sciences through Urdu translation. So we see that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1875, he opened Mohammedan Anglo Oriental college at Aligarh, where instructions were imparted both in Western arts and science and Muslim religion. So Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, it was opened at Aligarh by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1875 on the pattern of Oxford and Cambridge University. So Aligarh soon became the center of religious and cultural revival of the Muslim community. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he wants to reform the Muslim society. He was a strong supporter of the British English education. He was a British loyalist and strong supporter of English education in India. He was against the Parda system of Muslim women. He interpreted Quran in the light of modern rationalism and science. He interpreted Quran. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan interpreted Quran in the lines of, we see that, in the light of modern rationalism and science. And we see that he received opposition from the side of orthodox ulamas of the time. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, his main aim was to improve the conditions of the Muslims, social, religious conditions. Especially we see that he says that it is only possible through English education. English education is the only tool through which we see that the conditions of the Muslims will be improved. So he supported English education in India. So Aligarh movement was a socio-religious reform movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, in 1864, he wrote his famous book, The Loyal Mohammedan of India. The Loyal Mohammedan of India is famous book Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wrote it. As we know that this Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he interpreted Quran. He supported English education in 1878. He was a British loyalist. He wanted to improve the relations, improve the Hindu relations of the Britishers and Muslims. And as we know that in 1878, he became a member of Imperial Legislative Council. In 1878, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan became the member of Imperial Legislative Council. His loyalty earned him a knighthood in 1888. So earned him knighthood in 1888. Clear? So knighthood is a title of Sir. He earned the title of Sir in 1888. Clear? So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he condemned the institution of slavery and described it un-Islamic. As we know, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he tried to modernize the outlook of the Muslims in India. He tried to modernize the outlook of Muslims in India. The famous personalities were associated with Aligarh movement were Shubli Niamani, Altaf Hussain Hali, Maulvi Nazir. These were the famous personalities which were associated with Aligarh movement. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was also a strong supporter of Hindu-Muslim unity. He said that Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of India. Hindus and Muslims are two eyes of India. Clear? So he was a critical of Indian National Congress. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a critical of Indian National Congress. He urged Muslims to remain aloof from the Congress. Clear? So he was a critical of the International Congress, and he was a strong supporter of English education, Western arts and sciences. Clear? And against the Parda system of women. His main aim was to reform the Muslim society. For that very purpose, he laid the foundation of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. Later, this Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1920, it became Aligarh University. Aligarh Muslim University. Clear? So we see that this was all about the Aligarh movement. So dear students, वीडियो को देखने के साथ साथ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलिए.